Welcome to Searching for Truth and Treasure in Alabama with Alabama historian, videographer, and speaker Jim Phillips. Jim has spent the last 40 years exploring and finding amazing artifacts on lesser-known sites in the state. He's here with us to discuss the how and where you can legally explore old, privately owned sites and find those amazing treasures from the state's past. Plus, he's going to tell you a story or two about hard-to-believe events he's encountered as he's toured the state. So let's get into it. Here's Jim Phillips. All right, everybody, welcome in, Jim. How are you today, man?
Well, I got sinus trouble, so I'm just telling you I'm going to sound like a duck, and you're going to have to mute it every time I cough. But we're going to try to get through this, okay?
Not a problem.
That mean old wife came in with that, and I caught it.
Well, you know, it's that time of year. It's been freezing cold around here. Now it's finally warming up, so that's not good for anybody.
I told my doctor friend who's into coins and treasures and stuff, I said, I slept with my wife in her bed for the first time in 9 years, and got a cold from it.
Well, that's a story for another day right there.
I got to do one on romance. I've always wanted to do a talk on romance. What the hell is he talking about?
So, all right, so tell me what we're talking about today.
Well, I'm going to talk about amazing treasures that have been found toward the end of this, and some things that other people have found, some things that I have found, and I'll talk a little bit about appraising things, but I want to do this stuff to convince you that I'm crazy.
Jim's always going to have some story of some weird.
Oh, I got it. You remember
He's
the
got
house
them everywhere.
And stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah. We'll save that one for another day.
We did that in October, and nobody believes that, but I had people want to come over with their electronic devices and monitor it, and I says, you're not coming here. I know who's doing this. You're going to piss her off. You're coming here with that, she's going to be pissed off at you.
We'll have to do a whole Halloween series again. We did that a long time ago on a radio show.
This is a spiritual thing.
Yeah,
I tell people, let me tell you something. There's a beyond, and I have seen enough that I truly believe it's irrefutable from what I've seen that you can be with your loved ones if you've lived a good life, that you will be together. And I'll go into that in a later podcast. And I ain't a preacher, even though some man at a talk picked up 2 of my 4 satchels and said, let me carry them for you. And we walked down the long hallway, and he says, I'm really impressed with your ministry. And I said, it's not a ministry. I just come to talk about history.
Yeah.
And this is how he said it. He said, oh, it's a ministry, all right. You just don't realize it yet. And then he disappeared when we got to the door. I didn't need that.
Oh, wow.
I don't need this. We got to the door, and I'm pushing the bar, like a lunchroom in Cameron.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. How do you open this? I turn around, he's gone.
Oh, wow.
If the guy's going to walk with you, he's going to say, come back soon. Nice meeting you. He didn't say a word. He just disappeared.
He just had to tell you that, and then, anyway. All right, well, let's talk.
Let's go treasures.
Yeah, let's talk about some treasure.
Let me tell you something. Now, I'll cough through this. I started metal detecting about 1987, 88. And I started finding mercury dimes in the ground. And I had a Garrett.
Now, what's a mercury dime?
Well, people call it a mercury dime. They say it's Miss Mercury on it. It ain't.
Okay.
They started making those in 1916. That's Miss Liberty, the same lady that's standing on the Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
They put wings on her head, which conveys the artist's freedom of thought, the new freedom of thought for women in America. So Miss Liberty has got wings on her head and looks like the Roman goddess Mercury.
Mercury. Okay. That's interesting.
So anyway, but that's what it is. But I always find those, and those are always 4 or 5 inches deep. And then I talked to Garrett the other day. I've used a lot of Garretts. I said, I will plug some of the Garrett because I've had a lot of success with them, and I'm not going to make up stuff to get you to sponsor the show. So
Garrett makes metal detectors. And
they make the things you walk through at airports and everything. So I'm going to sit there marketing a guy a copy of this, and he can decide whether he wants to kind of negotiate with me or something. But I'm giving the facts. I'm not going to lie just to make him happy. So anyway, Garrett came out with what's called Power Master, which was deeper circuitry, and I started finding 1800s coins, mercury dimes, barber dimes then, barber quarters. That's going back in the 1880s, 1890s. And let me tell you, there's some of those worth a lot of money. In 1894, barber dime with wear on it, you're only going to get bullion value, and it's going to bring you about, let's see what's going to give you, about $1.50 today, something like that. That's what an honest coin dealer is going to give you for this.
All right, now I'm going to play stupid again. Why is it called a barber dime?
Mr. Barber designed it.
Mr. Barber, okay.
Mr. Barber's the...
And who's Mr. Barber?
I don't know. We have a Barber Dairy.
I was going to say, is it Barber Motorsports? He hasn't been around that long, has he?
It's a milkman, I guess, right there. What's he doing with coins? But anyway, right. If you get one, like at 1894, that little O on the back means it was minted in New Orleans, and they didn't mint very many in New Orleans. Now, when that coin starts showing very little wear to no wear, the value goes up. I don't have my brew book out, but I can read to you the 1894 O with significant wear is probably going to bring you about $6, $7 collector's value, called numismatic value. So I'm going to bring you about $1.50 for silver.
Right.
And that's what the coin dealers want to buy it for. That they're not cheating you.
Yeah.
They want to buy. Got to make some money. Okay. Now, but if you start getting up to almost uncirculated, you've got a coin 1894 O that's going to bring you, probably $100-something, and you get up and uncirculated, it's going to be up in the hundreds. Let me tell you something. I bought some coins. I did a history talk in South Alabama, and this elderly, I say that and laugh because, man, I'm elderly now. I can barely come up those steps to your office.
We got an elevator.
Yeah, I know. This makes me feel older. How do you push these buttons? But anyway, they got done. This is the sinus trouble, people. My mouths give out with sinus trouble. I got done doing a talk, and he says, Jim, Louise and I got some old coins. You want to see them? And I said, you want to appraise them? Because I appraise them. He said, no, we'll sell them. And I went over there, and silver was way down. You got to understand, people, that silver, you have a bullion value, and that's, the bullion value is what's it worth on any given day per troy ounce. So then you have what's not called numismatic value. What's its value according to a rare coin being collectible? So you got bullion value versus numismatic value. So we take this silver $50. No, it was a silver dollar. And it had, I couldn't tell how much wear was on it because it had a green film on it. This guy had it stored in a plastic binder, like you store stamps.
Yeah.
And the binder oxidized and put a green crustacean on the coin. You buy the coin as it is.
Right.
You don't know if you're going to get that green crustacean off.
Right.
So you buy it for the condition it's in. So I looked at it, and I was buying silver dollars for $6 each. Silver was only $10.80 at troy ounce, and I said, I need to give you like $9, $8.75 a coin. And he said, just give me $6. So I was buying tons of silver, yeah. And the day after I bought it, silver started going through the roof. I mean, it went to $49 an ounce.
Oh, wow.
And I started selling off when it got in the 30s, and I was making a fortune. Now, he told me he didn't care if silver went up. Louise and I don't need the money, and I like you. And I had my little daughter was little then, my only child. And I didn't bring her here to butter you up, but she was buttering them up, and they loved her. So anyway, he was just taking like $6 for these silver dollars and $3 for silver halves. And man, I started selling those silver dollars at like $23, $24 each, and I had stacks of them. Well, I kept the one that was rare that had it oxidized, and about a year later, the silver got up to $49 an ounce, and I showed my friend who's into coins, who's got a lot of money. I'm trying to not talk about professions so people can figure out who it is. It's just be coy about I know what he's talking about. But anyway, he said, I'm going to buy this coin, and I'm going to give you $90 for it. Mm-hmm. And because it's rare. But it's damaged, it's got oxidation. But he knows how to soak coins in chemicals. You never rub a rare coin.
Yeah.
You take a coin that looks like a mirror and you rub cotton gently on it. That cotton has put scratch marks on it. You've now knocked the value down by thousands of dollars rubbing cotton.
That's good to know.
That's a fact. So anyway, he called me up and he says, I gave it a 3%. He said 3% chance, and the miracle worked. I have restored it to uncirculated with no damage.
Wow.
It's an MS Mint State 60 to an MS 63. He says, now, do you want to come out of the house and I'll give you $375 more, or I coined, that's worth far more than that now. I'll go to a coin exposition and sell it and split it with you. Mm. And I said to him, I don't know why I'm telling people this story, because you ain't going to have no friend like this. This is the fantasy friend, but he exists.
Right.
So I said, no, man, go sell it. So he called me up, and he said he's been offered $13,500 for that coin.
Oh, my God.
Well, the elderly couple, he said, I hope you get rich, Jim. we don't need this money, and I hope you score big with a coin in here and make me happy. And they died. It just went down. But it came true. And so he said, come by the house. He didn't sell it. The value came down. Come by the house. I'll give you $6,000 cash. And he did. Wow. And I paid taxes on it. And like I said, you stupid idiot. I said, you don't have to do that. But I'm so poor. Anytime I can put down I made more money, I'd do it because I'm embarrassed at how poor I am. I'm not trying to cheat the IRS. Look, IRS, I made.
You're just trying to make yourself feel better.
Look, I made a little money. I made more than $13,000 a year because they're laughing at me otherwise, But that's a good way. You can appraise coins. You got to learn what makes a coin valuable. It's how many are there out there like that? Where rarity is determined by how many are there. That's determined by mint mark. How many were minted in San Francisco versus Denver versus Washington, D.C.? What condition is it in? Any scrapes and abrasions on it? What condition? And how many did they mint when they minted them? That determines the value of a coin. The rarity is determined by mint mark, how many were minted, and the condition of the coin. And you can find something like that are worth some real money. Now, I'm honest with people. I'll sit there I do a lot of elderly people, and I'll sit there and say, this is an 1885 V nickel, just because it's got a V on it for 5. And the face is Miss Liberty on the obverse, which is the front. And I'll tell them, that's kind of rare. It's in good condition, so I need to give you about $250 for that. But what I like to do, Philip, is sit down with people, and I don't know if anybody does this. I bring in a photo grade book showing how to grade coins by the amount of wear that's on them. And I bring a blue book showing what honest coin is.
Educate them a little bit.
Yeah. So we're going to have class.
There you go.
Yeah, you're going to know why I'm paying and offering you this.
Right.
There's going to be class. There's going to be no misunderstandings here. So, and then they recommend you to other people.
Yeah.
And I've made some good money doing that. And if you want to go find coins easily, I'll do my plug for a Garrett metal detector because I do believe in this one. I've got about 3 detectors, but Garrett makes what's called GTI 2500, graphic target imaging. You put it in bell tone mode, it'll go boom, boom when it goes over silver. It makes a bell tone. With any coin you go over, any object, it has an oval grid, vertical grids, and then there's little horizontal grids that go small, bigger, bigger, bigger. So it tells you the size of the object and how deep it is. The vertical grid, a little oval appears, tells you the size of the object, and then it appears going down vertically, not horizontally. How deep is it? And man, that thing is accurate.
Wow.
I said in one of the shows, they tore up Greensboro Avenue in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
And you and I haven't gone to the University of Alabama, know that is the oldest Stagecoach Street route down there, right through downtown. And they put up yellow ribbon, and it's against the law of the metal detect down there. And they told me the Heritage Association, they've got people out there who weren't finding anything. And I'm not saying they're lying, but I just find that hard to believe. And I went down there and I stepped under the yellow ribbon, do not cross. And in 90 seconds, my Garrett 2500 GTI says, bell tone, doon, 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 doon. And the little icon appeared where it says 25 cents, a little to the right, which told me silver. It's a silver $50. It said $50 a little right. That's a silver $50. And I didn't have to dig far because they went 6-7 inches into the dirt under the asphalt. There it is. 1856, New Orleans mint, silver $50.
Wow.
Now that one had some chemical reaction on the reverse of it, and my friend soaked it, and it did it more damage than good.
Yeah.
So he thought if we could remove the chemical damage, you might have a $300 coin. It was worth about $80 the way I found it. Then it went down to about $15 because the chemicals damaged it even more. So you don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you got to know what you're doing, but you never rub a coin. You try to soak them if you think it's rare, and it can damage it or it can actually improve it. But with the Garrett GTI, let me tell you, you can mow a lawn with it, and I'm being facetious when I say that, but you can walk in a straight line. You know, metal detectors, you swing left and right, and it will over coins. It'll go bell tone, doon, 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 or go doot, 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 if it's not silver. But you can get on a sidewalk and just go straight down the sidewalk and let about 3 inches of that coil overlap the concrete, and let the other 9 inches, it's a 12-inch coil, be off on the sand or grass. Go all the way down, and when it'll do it, it'll go ding. If it hits a quarter or a half or a dime, even if it's clad, it will bell tone. And you just back up and then scan it, ding, 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 and it tells you how deep it is.
That's cool.
Yeah, it says dime, quarter. I've walked sidewalks and just pulled coins, silver, and some clad.
Yeah,
because the bell tone's on clad. That means they're quarters. They look like they're silver and all that. But but I'll go into a little town where you can do that legally, and you just don't get on people's property.
Right.
So I ask for permission, and but you can really mop up. Maybe I've made. When silver was up, I'd make $30-something in an hour or something walking sidewalks in this little town.
Oh, that's
but
pretty
you're
good.
Having fun.
And you're getting exercise.
Yeah, you're having fun.
And you may never know when you're going to find the big one, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't but
well, cool. All right, so let's wrap this one up. We're about 20 minutes into this one. All right, we heard a great story from one of your great adventures there to start with, and then
let me tell you one thing though. We did the meteorite, and I'm out in the woods and look at that sucker.
Oh wow!
That may be the second largest meteorite found in Alabama. Wow! And I showed it to an she's into astronomy. I don't know, whatever. She's planetarium director, and she's from England, but she was at the University of Alabama. I sent her a picture. She said it's a meteor wrong, which is what they say when it's wrongly identified.
Yeah.
She says it's slag. But I met a guy from the state of Georgia who's their leading mineralologist. Can't say mineralologist.
Mineralogist.
Yeah, he looked at it. He says, "Is it magnetic?" And I put my magnet about 2 inches from it. He goes, just jumps up from the and locks on. And anyway, he looks at it, and I says, "Well, it's got those little blisters in it, so that's got to be from a furnace." He said, that's them coming through space. He looked at it and said, "What about those scars? That's coming through the atmosphere." He says, "I will tell you with 100% certainty, this is not man-made."
Oh, wow.
This is from nature. It's not slag, which is man-made. This is 100% certainty.
That's pretty cool.
So anyway, I want to get this classified because maybe it's a Martian rock or something. Mars.
We'll throw a picture of that up on your website.
Yeah.
All right, so Jim has a website called JimPhillipsAlabama.com. And if you want to message him, send him an email, tell him one of your stories, ask him questions about coins, something you found, metal detecting, how to get started in treasure hunting. If you want to book him to come talk to your organization, Alabama.
And let me say, I've done over 1,200 talks.
Yeah.
In Alabama, most, but Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee. I'm going to Mississippi and Georgia in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I speak at retirement communities, libraries, historical societies, senior centers, universities. So I'm all over the place, and I've gotten popular with it. People say you're so entertaining, and they really enjoy it. So, and I enjoy meeting these people, and it's kind of a fellowship thing. And the guy did say you're needed by these people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They need you, and so maybe that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Check them out, JimPhillipsAlabama.com, and we will catch you on the next episode. Be sure to subscribe right here to hear the latest ones coming out. Appreciate it, Jim. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Gold, 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 they just gotta have that gold, gold, they'll do.
Thanks for listening to another episode. If you have questions for Jim Phillips or would like more information on his speaking availability, visit his website at JimPhillipsAlabama.com.